I'm Lee Chantel, and my friend Lockie asked me a question: how do I stay on top of world events without being on Facebook? And I think this is a really good question because I get asked this a lot, and I have a lot of digital boundaries in place so that I'm always focused on the things that I need to focus on, the things that I'm working on. I'm being productive and I'm using my time in the best and the most effective way that I can. So I don't have digital distractions, and I turn my notifications off, my phone's on grayscale, a lot of other things like that. You also need to be aware of what's happening in the world. You need to be able to have conversations with people about stuff that's happening. And because I have a lot of different types of friends in my life, I like to be able to talk to different people about many different things. So what I said to Lockie was, it was mostly based on the fact that I follow a lot of mailing lists. I'm on many mailing lists and I get a lot of mailing lists all the time, emailed to me all the time. So the information that I get is stuff that I've requested to learn about, and a lot of it is technology based, as that's my passion, and I'm really into digital well-being. That's what I speak about, that's what I consult about and do workshops on. So I just went through a few of my emails then just to check for a few people that I follow already. So here's some of the ones that I follow, and there's a lot more, but this is just the ones that I could find today. Wired, which is like an online technology magazine that has a lot of information, what's happening in the world of social media and technology and virtual reality, and where things are going in the future, where we are at the moment, some of the challenges. They have some long reads as well, which I really like, and some undercover sort of investigations. The Intercept is also really good in investigating, and there's a lot of really good journalists involved. Digital Rights Watch, also similar sort of things. I really get a lot from the Pew Research Center, so it's based on a lot of research and studies that are done from an American mostly audience, and how they interact in particular with the online space and politics and religion, etc. So for a lot of my articles and research that I do, I use their research and their findings. I'm also interested in coding, and I follow a lot of women who code or women in coding blogs, or not blogs, mailing lists as well. I'm interested in music, and I follow various bands on Bandcamp, and I also love Audiotree music. They do an Audiotree live sessions where they record in audio and visual independent artists, and I discovered a lot of music through there. Also from Matthew Perpetua from Flux Blog, he writes a MP3 blog weekly, and I've discovered a lot of music from him. NPR Music has their Tiny Desk session that I really like, and so I find out that sort of information. Keep in mind, as I'm saying this, the emails that I'm getting, the mailing lists I'm on, these are things that I want to hear as well, and it's not necessarily the whole echo chamber with Facebook where I'm only seeing things that I agree with already. I'm getting things from technology or from music, from my entrepreneurial stuff, the business stuff, the writing stuff, the speaking stuff. I'm getting all these different things that I'm interested in, but it's someone else's a way of dealing with it, or someone else a different way that they're looking at something. And I'd just like to point out that I read a lot of books. I love non-fiction, and in particular about technology and how we're using technology, as that's my passion, how we use technology, and how my whole thing with my life and what I'm trying to educate people with is how we can use technology in a more conscious and mindful way instead of it taking over our lives. I really like Twitter, and I follow a lot of my favorite authors on Twitter, and they share a lot of articles as well, so I learn a lot from those articles. And they're tech people, they're people from Demos, so that's another mailing list I'm on, which is a think tank from the UK. Jamie Bartlett and Carl Miller are both from there, and I have their books. Follow them on Twitter. And Naomi Klein, Jean Twenge, Sherry Turkle, some other people that are interested in how the world is working, and in particular Jean and Sherry on the online interaction, and some other tech related people that I follow, and in particular people that are related to digital well-being. Tristan Harris is a good example. So I like Twitter because it's just short information, as in like a title or a description of a link or an article, and then I'll open those and read them later when I have time. And that's how I get my information. I don't really read much online in regards to newspapers. When I'm at my parents' place, I do like reading The Australian, and I'm in Queensland, Australia, so we have the Courier Mail, which on Saturdays is really good. And The Australian is also really good on Saturdays. They have a lot of those inserts and the arts sort of things that I really like reading, and the more in-depth articles by really good journalists. The books that I like reading are usually written by journalists who write really well. At the moment I'm studying my Bachelor of Psychology honours, and so therefore I read a lot of psychology texts and lots on statistics. But that, I hope that's helped. So you can definitely learn about a variety of things. You don't need to have Facebook, and in particular I'd strongly suggest that people don't go to Facebook for their information, or even Google, because I don't know if you're aware of the echo chamber effect, but whatever you, based on algorithms and based on things that you interact with and things that you like or dislike, Google and Facebook can work out, and even Twitter can work out the things that you like or you don't like. So you're going to see more of the things you like. Example is vaccination, and if you are for vaccinations, you would only see stuff that relates to pro-vaccination stuff, and you would see anti-vaccination information, if that makes sense. So you're only going to see things that you actually know or like already. You're not going to really learn outside of the box or learn new things. So I have a lot of different types of friends. I like learning from different types of people. I've never agreed 100% with any one person, and I think that would be pretty boring if we did. So my tips: meet new people, always try to learn something new from new people, be compassionate, be kind, be conscious and be mindful about the way you're using your digital devices and your online work. And take the time to really read some deep reads or some really long articles. And there's some really good websites online, like The Guardian is a good one, for example, that has some good information and is not as biased as some other websites are. It's just really working out the good ones and do your own research, work out what is right, use your own brain to work out if something is right or is wrong, track the source back, who would benefit from whatever is being said the most. Is it the dairy company when they're saying and talking about that soy is bad, for example? There's lots of different things you can think about, and anything in general, you can convince yourself about anything if you think about it long enough, and if you find all the ways to back up your idea, which you can nowadays. You can find that stuff very easily. So just be open to learning new things, be open to meeting new people and having a respectful, non-judgmental, non-attached conversation with people, and try and follow some new websites or some new blogs or some new mailing lists. And I hope that really helps, and have an awesome week, and I'll speak to you soon.